It's precisely at times like this where we have the most potential to completely fuck everything up. And Bitcoin has done this so many times that I need to highlight it to you just in case it happens again. It's a major warning that I want to give you, and I'm preparing for it. I'm going to tell you how I'm doing that as well in this YouTube video. Before I continue, I want to highlight to you the brand new YouTube channel that I've opened up, mainly focused on altcoin analysis. If you head over to the description and just click on this link down here, it's going to take you to the 4Flies Daily channel where 600 of you have already checked it out and subscribed. And I've actually just posted a brand new Dogecoin analysis video. The last time I made a Dogecoin analysis video, I told everybody that this is a dangerous coin that's probably going to drop. And if we take a very quick peek at what happens in this video, it has dropped quite hard. So this analysis, as the YouTube channel that you're watching right now, has been 100% on point, and if you want to check it out, then follow the link in the description. But let's get right back to this video, and it's all about how Bitcoin can rally up to really nice, kind of impressive levels, like, for example, here at $25,000, but then just completely mess it all up and start dropping down really, really harshly. And one of the key things that you and I need to do at a time like this in this market is make sure that we understand all the factors and dynamics that are at play right now. Anything that can potentially trigger a really big sell-off and actually make that sell-off become even larger, I want to know those factors. I want to know what could have some sway on the market. It may not actually come into fruition, but it's my job as a trader, as an investor, to make sure that I'm prepared for it. And here's the thing, is if we look at the realized price of Bitcoin, I know this is a kind of intimidating chart right now, but if we look at the realized price of Bitcoin, we can start to understand, how many people are in a profit versus in a loss. And first of all, what's the realized price of Bitcoin? I actually asked this question to ChatGPT just to give you guys a really nice definition, but that definition was a little bit too how do I say intense. So let me read out what it wrote when it simplified it. In trading Bitcoin, realized price refers to the average price at which a group of Bitcoin tokens was last bought. So for example, if you've bought 5 trenches of Bitcoin, it'll just average it out and give you that entry level, and that's the realized price. And for short-term holders, that number right now sits at about $22,000. But for long-term holders, it sits over at 19,000. And the reason that these numbers in particular are important is because if we've got, in fact, let's actually hold this for a second. Let's take a look at this chart. This shows how many Bitcoins are in a profit versus how many are in a loss. Okay, so the bigger the blue area, the more people are in a profit, the more Bitcoins are in a profit. The bigger the red, the more are in a loss. So you can see when we see really, really big sell-offs, that number can drop down as low as like 50-50 or even more than 50% of traders are in a loss. But right now we're looking at 75% of the supply in a profit, which is pretty good. That's a good sign. But it does also mean that if a correction is initiated, this is a really big deal. Let me turn my webcam back on. If a correction is initiated, because the percent of the supply which is in a profit is so high, because so many people are in a profit right now on Bitcoin, if we trigger a sell-off, we could look at that correction becoming very big very quickly, because traders are going to be very quick to take in their profits, to lock it in and sell their position. And I think the reason for that is because we're in a bear market now, right? Like, there's no disputing it. I mean, we've risen up pretty nicely, so that's nice, don't get me wrong, but we're still in the same bear market. This is just a relief rally. This is just a bull rally within a bear market. It's a bear market rally. It's very common, and it doesn't mean that the bear market is over. A lot of people are forgetting that. I'm here to remind you about that, right? The fact that the market is pumping up, even the fact that the market is basically doubled from its low, doesn't mean that we're actually in a bull market yet. And so everyone's got this how do I say, premeditated bias, I guess, I don't know. Everyone's got this bias going into it that we're bearish, so if we start to see bearish signs, we're already in defense mode. We're already going to be looking to close off our positions. And this is why the short-term realized price and the long-term realized price becomes interesting, because if we've got key levels where like most people are going to be break even at 22,000 if they bought in the short term, or most people are going to be break even at 19,000 if they bought in the long term, well, people often close their positions at break even, right? Like, if you've made a lot of money, if you've just bought a coin and the coin has shot up in value and then it starts to drop down massively, you're most likely to sell it at break even, right? Like if you've just made a shitload of money, if you've basically doubled your holding, you know, and then the price just drops right back down, you're gonna look to close it at break even. And so this short-term realized price shows us the break even level for short-term holders of Bitcoin, and the long-term price does the same for long-term holders, and that makes those two levels magnetic. That makes those two levels magnetic in terms of price, where we can generally find the price kind of gravitating towards it. And we see it happening here. It almost looks a little bit like a moving average. It's a little bit weird, you know, where the price will find a way to, you know, maybe get a rejection, for example, off this level, or find support off this level, like we did over here. So there are some examples. It's a little bit hard to see, to be honest, but you can, oh, what have I done here? You can kind of start to make it out. If I, can I just draw a box here? Yeah, look at that. Kind of bouncing off these levels, right? So if we end up doing that again, and look, you can see resistance. This is not a coincidence. The market loves to, you know, come to these realized price levels and bounce off them, whether we find resistance or support. In this case, because we're above the levels, it means that we could be looking to find support. Look, we did it beautifully over here. Take a look at this. Really nice support coming off the long-term holder price, you know, and we nearly did it on this drop as well. So if we're looking at something similar to that right now, you know, then I think we're going to be in a position where the market could drop down by quite a bit if it needs to. And this is the thing, is that right now, at the end of the day, none of this discussion even matters, because we need to get the fuck out of this you know, rising wedge. We need to get out of this pattern. We're flatlining right now. We're not doing anything at all, you know, and so nothing matters yet. But when we break, we're either going to break up or we're going to break down. And if we break down, we've got really good reason to believe that a sell-off could be sharp, and it could be quick, and it could be deep. You know, and that is something which is very, very useful for me to know at this stage in the market, because now that I know that, I can also look to position myself accordingly, and maybe, you know, have some buy orders set, you know, around some of the support levels that are down below. And that's where this gets quite exciting. Now, I want to remind you guys that every single trade that I make in crypto is primarily going to be made on Bybit. And if you want to check it out, you can do so with the link in the description down below. It's literally just, you know, we head back over to the YouTube video. You know, you're literally just going to find it right down here. It's the third link in the description to sign up to Bybit, where you get up to $30,000 in bonuses. And you don't need to have a new account to do this. I mean, if you already have an account, that's okay. You can make a new one and gain access to this. So that means if you already signed up to Bybit, you can make a brand new account. I didn't phrase that very well. If you have an account already, you can make a brand new one and still get these bonuses, which is really, really cool. And if you follow all the links in the description for exchanges, OKX and Prime XBT on top of that, you're going to get up to $57,000 in bonuses. So that is really, really cool. Big, big payday waiting for you if you want to go ahead and redeem those offers. Super cool. All you got to do with Bybit is deposit and start trading, and you will get access to it. 0% spot trading fees as well. Very, very cool. So definitely take advantage of that. And again, while we're down here, I do want to point out the 4Flies Daily channel once more. The other thing about this channel, guys, is it's meant to be rapid fire content. So right now we've just started it. It's you know, a little bit slow, but it's still a lot of videos. It's way more videos than you'll find on my main channel. Just in the last 2 days, I've published 6 videos, right? So this is unusual, right? I don't publish this much on the main channel. So definitely check it out if you want all of that extra content as well. I'm gonna keep on plugging it until I decide that it's been too much, because I actually like it. I think it's really cool, and I think there's a lot of trading opportunities here, crucially, which could turn out to be very, very interesting. Now, like I said, though, moving back to Doge, the thing about Doge is if we do end up dropping, you know, we've got to start identifying where our support levels are, and we've already done this. If we look at the realized price for short-term holders, which is right here, this sits at, like I said, about $22,000. That lines up with some really interesting fib levels here. If we take a look at a fib drawn from this low right here, we've got the 0.5 level at 22.8 and the 618 level at 21.3. Now, the 618 level is a little bit too far away, and this is a little bit too high. But right in the middle, we've got a really nice pocket between the 618 level and the 0.5 level. That's a really nice level for the market to look to find some support if we do end up dropping pretty sharply. Not only will it mean that we overshoot 25, which means we've deviated below our support level, which Bitcoin loves to do, but it also means that we've fallen down to a pretty damn respectable price level. You know, this is a good level to buy Bitcoin, and this is a good level to start getting scared that Bitcoin might be dropping significantly lower. That's where we might start to see the fear and greed index finally starting to reset. In terms of the bearish argument here, we have a good one. We have good reasons to drop down. We have good things that would happen if the market does drop down. So I don't want you guys to be too scared of stuff like this. Taking the scenic route just means more opportunities. If we move up, that means we can trade this move up. But if we move down and then move up, that means we can trade this move down and we can trade this move up. We simply have more opportunities to trade and make money if the market takes scenic routes. So I don't want you guys to be upset about it. Where is my bias? I want to be very clear. My bias is still to the upside. My bias is still that we might move up to the upside. I'm seeing good reasons that that should be shaken a little bit and that I should be a little bit less sure of that. And that is influencing my analysis a little bit. But at the end of the day, I'm still not seeing any particularly great reason that we must pull back. And this is still a pretty bullish setup. Again, the main reason I'm making this video is it almost doesn't really matter what triggers it, right? Like, something could trigger a sell-off, and if it does get triggered, this video's intention is to show you how bad that sell-off might be. You know, if it does actually get triggered. Whether or not it happens, that's a different question, and to be honest, I don't know. It's a pretty hard one to answer. I'm still leaning towards it's less likely to happen. If we fall down to the long-term realized price, which, like I said, sits at about $19,000, well, that puts us down below the daily Ichimoku cloud, so I do not want to see that. If we fell down to just 22, that would put us basically at the daily cloud. So that's good. Again, I don't want to drop that low, but that's good. But if we fall even lower than that down to the long-term realized price, we will fall down to the last low that we had. We'll fall down to a really good support area. We'll fall down to an area that lines up with our 786 fib retracement. There is a lot going for it, but it's also going to be a major setback. And I think that if Bitcoin does fall down to a level like $19,000, then we're probably actually going to be looking for the rest of this year, probably at price action that looks, you know, something a little bit like this. Right now, I think we've got a really nice path where, worst case, if we drop down this low but not much lower, you know, we can do something like this, or we can just do something like this now. You know, but if we do fall down to 19, I kind of struggle to see how this is going to happen. You know what? It very well could. It would make a lot of sense if it did. But the problem with this kind of sell-off now is that's a lot of bad stuff happening kind of all around the same time. And I don't know, to me, that doesn't really sit particularly well. Now, something else that I want to show you is actually right here. It's to do with Apple and the Bitcoin manifesto, so-called, the so-called Bitcoin manifesto. Obviously, this is just in reference to the Bitcoin white paper. Apple has hidden a Bitcoin white paper in every Mac since 2018, according to somebody who discovered it by accident. This is a horrible. Why is this the mobile version of the page? I don't know why I'm seeing the mobile version of the page. This is really badly formatted, but anyway, this is something that's interesting, and it's got some people talking. I don't know why people are losing their minds over the Bitcoin white paper being on every Mac. I mean, it's kind of cool, don't get me wrong. It's novel, right? It's interesting, but at the same time, I just don't know why that would be particularly mind-blowing. I certainly don't think that it's important for the market. It's nice to see that there are believers, you know, for Bitcoin, even with Apple, even high up at Apple, you know, to have decided, you know, because this must have been some sort of executive decision to put the white paper in, you know, every Mac to begin with. We know that Bitcoin is, you know, probably the most superior form of money on the planet right now. I love it. I love using it. I'm the most hardcore Bitcoin maxi that you'll probably ever meet, unless you're meeting other Bitcoin maxis on a regular basis. In that case, I might be a very tame one. But at the same time, I don't get excited by... Who cares, man? Fuck's sakes, I just don't think it's important. You know, but everybody's been losing their minds on it. And this is the thing, is like, you know, Doge pumped up because Twitter changed the logo from Twitter to Doge to the dog. You know, so everybody started buying Dogecoin, for example. You know, and that hype wears off, so the market crashes and stuff like that. You know, this is the beautiful thing, you know, like when I made that Dogecoin analysis video that I posted on the second YouTube channel, this one right here, I already knew what was going to happen, right? Like with ARB, I already know what's going to happen. I don't know these things for sure. I don't know it with like a 100% level of certainty, but I know it well enough, I feel, to, you know, to be able to make some pretty informed decisions, some pretty informed analysis overall, to be honest. And you know, that kind of thing allows me to position myself, make these kind of YouTube videos, and provide value to you guys. So if you do find it useful, do me a favor, smash up the likes, subscribe if you haven't done so already, tick the bell, do all that that good stuff. Check out the second channel, subscribe to that also, and tick the bell for this channel also if you want to get access to this very real-time analysis that I'm posting around the clock. I am literally, right when I finish this video, going to make a Cardano video right now. So you've got the Doge video right there to check out, and I'm going to make a Cardano analysis video very shortly as well, which you can watch right after this one is live. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.